Hi everyone, it's Safrina from fengshuiandprosper.com. I'm outside just waiting for an appointment. So I thought I might just do a quick scope on something that's been coming up quite a bit. Some of you may or may not know that I currently am running a 12-week online program where we talk about, of course, we talk about Feng Shui, but we also talk about inner Feng Shui, meaning all the internal stuff that is blocking us from whatever success that you're wanting to achieve. And I shared this with the group, and I thought I might share it as a scope as well. And the title, as you can see, is Your Income Ceiling Is It Self-Imposed? Now, I have a personal story that I would like to share, and this was a huge clarity moment for me, especially now that I'm doing my business full-time, my Feng Shui consulting business full-time. And this is not, so this income ceiling is not only something that you might want to think about, whether you're, working for someone else, but it's extra, I think it's even more important if you run your own business. So in terms of money story, mine is very much connected to my parents' relationship with money. And I never thought about this until just a couple of years ago. So when I was younger, I was probably about 12 or 13 when my dad just came home one day and announced that he was going into early retirement. He was only in his 40s then, so meaning he doesn't get any retirement pension really until he's actually reached the retirement age. So what does that mean? That means the whole financial burden now falls on my mom. And she, at that time, well, her only career really was as a teacher. So there's a family of 6 depending on my mom's meager salary as a teacher. And I grew up in Malaysia, so teachers are paid even less there, right? And at that point, my older sister was already studying in Canada as an international student. And when my dad came home that day, my mom obviously was really worried, but my dad was like, oh, it's okay, I can always find another job. That didn't really happen until another 2 years after that. So my mom was the main breadwinner, and we saw her really start struggling. So you're gonna see me a little bit emotional. I'm gonna blame it on my pregnancy hormones. I am 7 months pregnant. I will get emotional, but bear with me. There's a story lesson here. So for those 2 years, she carried the family on her teacher's salary while also putting my sister through university in Canada. She scrimped and saved and never really gave herself any luxury. So things obviously got a little bit better when my dad finally got a job. And so I've been fast forward, 20 years or something, and I'm building my own Feng Shui business. And obviously Feng Shui brings me the opportunity, but there was something in me that I have to say made it unsafe for me to make more money, and I didn't know what. I would procrastinate, I would let fear get in the way, but there was something deeper that I just couldn't figure out. So I was literally on my knees one day, and I asked God to really give me insight. What is it that I'm not seeing? And a couple of days later, I was literally just walking down the street, and it hit me that it's not safe for me to make more money. Specifically, it's not safe for me to make more money than my husband, because that would make me the main breadwinner, i.e. my mom. And as much as I love her and respect her, I didn't want to be her when it came to that. So it almost hit me like a lightning when I realized that fear, so subconscious, so deep in my psyche that I never really thought about until that day, was holding me back from more business success. And when I shared it with my husband, he was like, heck, I'd be happy if you make more than me. Just go ahead and do it. And not that I needed his encouragement to do so, but the fact that I realized this self-imposed income ceiling, I was finally able to break through that. And that was such a momentous moment in my business building. It just made so much difference, and I started really was able to see progress after that in terms of the income that I'm seeing for my business. So that's my own personal story. Obviously, everyone's money story is different. If you feel that, not just even feel, if you know that you should be making more, but something is blocking you, you really need to look at your money story, not just your own relationship with money, but also your parents' relationship with money, or even when you grew up, you know, maybe your grandparents, your neighbors, your society, your community. What is the main money story that is most likely subconsciously holding you back from making more? So that was the aha moment that I had about 2 years ago, and I shared this story with my online group, and I'm hoping that gives you a little bit of a hopefully this will make you want to ask yourself the same question. It's a hard question to ask and an even harder one to answer, especially if it's so deep in your psyche that you haven't really looked at it before. But it is so important, because otherwise it will feel like, you know, you're going 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but you should be making more progress, but you're not. So really look inside and ask yourself, what is it in you that could potentially be imposing that income ceiling on yourself? So that's my little money mindset scope for the day, and I love calling it inner Feng Shui as well, because there's a lot of internal negative energy that we hold in our hearts and in our mind that you really need to de-junk and detox in order to really move ahead. Sorry, I think I'm like moving my phone a lot here, but that's all I wanted to share for today. And hopefully this gives you a little bit of a homework to do after this. Feel free to, if you're not following me on Periscope at the moment, please follow me. I'm hoping to be a little bit more consistent with my scopes. And I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for your time, and I think I should head off for my baby appointment, and hopefully see you guys on the next one. Thank you.